Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to a moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Hydration with Heart segment, brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, today we're joined by my dear friend, Donald Suxho. He's a two-time Olympian who competed in both the Athens and London Olympic Games. As the highly decorated volleyball athlete, he has a proven track record of success at the highest levels of competition and now has extensive experience as a not only player, but a coach with a passion for developing talent and fostering a winning culture. He joins me today to chat about his journey from pro volleyball athlete and Olympian to coaching and plans for his newest chapter with the Global Sports Institute. Welcoming now to the show is my dear friend, Donald Suxho. Welcome, superstar.
Hey, Zen, good to be here. Hello, New York. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me again. It's great to see you. Love being in your show. Keep up the great work, Zen.
Oh, so excited to have you back on, my dear. Now, you've had such an illustrious career as both a player and the coach in the wonderful world of volleyball. But looking specifically at your playing days, your time as a 4 year starting setter and captain at USC was marked by numerous accolades, including being named NCAA Player of the Year and making first team All American twice. And then, of course, going on to be a two-time Olympian. Can you share a standout moment from your playing days that truly defined your passion for the sport?
It's really hard to define success or really like kind of, we all have those dreams and passions to be the best we can be, right? And sometimes we get there, sometimes we don't. And also to kind of push for that, to push your limits, it's a hard choice to make. So for me, volleyball changed my life forever. I was an immigrant from Albania, came to Boston and got a scholarship to USC. And B, I never had a chance or a dream to join the US Olympic team. So my full circle moment is when I went to Athens Olympics, being a neighbor country from Albania. We're in communism, and I came to the States in '94 with having any dreams for volleyball, purely working, and then being in the Olympic stage and opening ceremony, representing the greatest country on earth, and seeing my little country Albania having two people. I mean, I cried, and just being amongst the best. I think for me that was that was kind of the final straw for me, like being amongst the best and competing amongst the best. That means that you did your work and now it's time to to compete. So that was for me like just the opening ceremony in Athens, Greece.
You gave me chills. You gave me chills. I'm so proud of you. And we know an excitement for volleyball has significantly grown in the last few years. We see it as a very important sport, if you will. In fact, according to the NFHC, the high school participation survey, volleyball was the number one most popular team sport for girls in the US, with 470,000 participants in the year 2023. So this goes beyond just junior level because as the sport continues to gain more recognition here in the US, more professional leagues are being created right here, making it easier for pros who in past years had been forced to travel internationally. And there's been an increase in media coverage on networks like ESPN and the Big Ten network. So volleyball is really picking up momentum in the US and it's only going to continue to grow. Now, you've competed in the world's top leagues all around, including Russia, Italy, Turkey, Argentina, and Greece. Taking this into account, as you now continue your coaching journey, what unique insights or even lessons have you gained from each cultural and competitive environment that you bring into your coaching philosophy here in America?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jenna. I mean, you covered that really well, the 27-year journey of being a kid and being a pro, being an Olympian. For me, like I'm excited like you that our sport is growing tremendously all over US, high school clubs, collegiate level. Now the girls and the boys have a chance to stay in USA and play pro in front of their family and friends, which I never had the chance to do it. I had to travel to Europe. But what I learned about being at USC, USA, been to countries like Russia, Dubai, Greece, Turkey, it's being able to adapt. I mean, number one thing that I learned is that never my way or the highway is being able to adapt to different cultures, different system, different human behavior, different human relationships, different languages, which is also, the ability to learn. I mean, being open-minded, it's awesome, because for me, I was really blessed to play for the best in the world, but I also had experiences. I had really bad coaches or really bad teammates, so being open-minded and learning, learning new skills, learning how to adjust, learning how to deal with problems and come up with solutions. So for me, those are the most important things that I learned throughout my year, and just listening to people, like we come from different backgrounds. We know so many things, and many leaders or many coaches never take their time to listen to their players, to listen to their coaches, to listen to their friends, or having mentors about them. So for me, I'm always open-minded. I'm always willing to learn, and I'm always, open up for advice. So there's a few things that, I take it now in my new journey.
Well said. Now, the world of youth sports is huge. According to Maya research, youth sports overall, not just volleyball, is a close to $40 billion global industry. And a National Institutes of Health study found that there were more than 60 million young athletes in the US alone. Now, while not every one of these athletes is going to go pro, sports clearly play a large part in our youth's upbringing. So, having a supportive and effective coach is extremely important. And now, while coaching comes with so many other rewards, it doesn't come without its challenges, right? So, what strategies do you employ to ensure you connect with your players on a personal level, but also driving them towards their maximum potential on the court?
Yeah, great. I mean, great point there. None of us, we don't know our journey, right? We don't know where we're going to end up. That's why I tell all the players, some will become Olympians, some world champions, some will just play in junior college, some, might go D1 or maybe just stop, play in high school. It's important to have the passion for the sport. You want to play volleyball because you love it. B, the second thing is, the education. I'm very transparent with the kids and the parents. It's like, hey, where we are now, it's, we're going to decide that we are at point A, but we're going to go to point B. And here's the plan forward, to be fully transparent, effective communication, tell the truth to the players and the parents as well, because the parents are the one who are, paying all this money for the kids to travel around the world, or, do tournaments or do privates. So being very transparent, having an action plan, and also holding accountable the kids and also ourselves. It's called, because it's one thing to say for these kids, or even adults, in college, to it's one thing to do and stay on top of that. So being accountable, having effective communication, and designing a plan for them. Be truthful about where we are, where we're going, and how to get there. It's many times the coaches take the easy way out and let things go, the problems, the issues. I think, like whenever we lose or win, we address it right away. Whenever we have good practice, bad practice, we address it right away and move on quickly. Just like that lesson I learned when I was overseas. Being able to adjust, adapt, listen and solve problems. I think that's a big part of my DNA. And lastly, Jen, creating those human relationships, humanized relationships, more than having a coach player, do this and do that, just being able to connect at a personal level, because we're not robots, right? We are human beings and we have problems sometimes. So it's important to get to know the players, their history, good or bad, and then design the plans around them.
These are great strategies. I mean, your players are very lucky to have someone like you as their coach. Now, like we said, you've represented the US in two Olympic Games as a setter. And for those of you who aren't familiar, the setter is the player who essentially runs the team's of offense and is often regarded as one of the hardest positions. You need to be able to quickly read the opposing team and have really strong communication skills, which is something he just alluded to. And with volleyball being such a fast paced game, the setter needs to be able to keep their cool and not only call the shots, but communicate them to everyone and to keep everyone on the same page. Sounds like a tough job. Can you describe the level of pressure and excitement that comes with competing at such a prestigious event, and how the experience shapes your approach to coaching Olympic hopefuls?
My dad, when I was little, he told me, like, you want to be, how many good hitters you have in the world? Can you count in, fingers? And I start counting too many players, and how many good setters are in the world? And I counted very few of them. So for me, it motivated me to be one of the best I could be personally, like on a personal level. My motivation was within. It's like, I love the position, being a setter and being the best I can be. Be like, people don't know, like, in the volleyball world, you have 3 seconds when the ball comes to make a decision, and that decision can be a gold medal, or could be the fourth place or the last place in the Olympics. So preparation comes in handy. Being able to prepare, to study, to train ahead of time, to have a game plan, and also being able to execute at a high level. It's one thing to get information. It's one thing to understand it and execute it over and over again. So for me, I was able to really hone in on those skills. Um, and lastly, like honestly, for me, it was like being a servant, almost like how can I help my team get better? How can I help my hitters? How can I put them in the best position, like a Tom Brady or Steph Curry of the world? Like it's not about me, it's about the team. So understanding lineups, understanding the human behavior of my players and my coaches and against the opposing teams. I was able to relate this kind of tricks of a trade per se, and understand the personality of my guys and also the personality of the other team, and kind of play chess. And you play the long game. You play the long game. You got to be patient. You got to keep emotions under the sleeve. You can react to things emotionally. You got to respond. I'm big on that. So I was able to respond more than react and be emotional and put my head down, or what I call blame, shame, justification. Stay away from those three things. It's always the next point. It's always the next solution, and we move on as a team. But yeah, it was a blessing. I loved it. I miss it. Hard to get it back, but now I can, work that out, in my new ventures ahead.
Now you're inspiring others. Now let's dive into the newest chapter in your career, the Global Sports Institute, which is a hub for athletes that are aiming to elevate their game and strengthen their connections and really cultivate leaders and champions both on and off the court. What inspired you to establish this venture, and how do you envision it making a significant impact on the volleyball community, but sports community as a whole?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I was blessed with my partners, who believed in my vision and a mission. And for me, was we want to design a center that was built by real athletes for real athletes. That means that me and my partner, we both went through the same struggles from age 10 to till we finished our careers. We both played volleyball at the highest level, and we looked around all over US, and there's no really centers like this that have kind of all the service in one. We have a great flooring, great nets, technology, all the equipment needed, video recording, a coffee shop, a place to hang out for the parents, like make it a great experience for our kids and parents, but also have a place where the kids can truly come, where we can train, where we can develop, and we can compete at a high level. So for me, I looked around, and it's always difficult to find a place like this. So we put our heads together, and then we designed also for if Olympians come back or if a pro athletes come in, we're putting a full-on fitness center with techno gym as well. So we want to create a kind of a athleticism and really good athletes inside out, as well as kind of a multi-sport center. I like the multi-sport, a little bit of pickleball, a little bit of fitness, volleyball, basketball will be a fun place. But it's kind of a place where you come to train, develop, and compete at the highest level, regardless of your journey or your dreams.
Well, you have your work cut out for you, my friend. We are almost out of time. We have about a minute left. And before we wrap up, let's chat a bit about coconut water. We are we are hosted by the Hydration with Heart segment. So when we talk about hydration in respect to sports, it's absolutely crucial to be properly hydrated to ensure proper muscle performance, prevent injuries, and aid with recovery. And as we know, or those of you that don't know, coconut water is a great natural hydrator with electrolytes like potassium and sodium and magnesium. And to go one step further, compared to many commercial sports drinks, coconut water is low in calories, contains no added sugars or artificial ingredients, making it truly a healthier option for hydration. Now, Donald, taking all of this into consideration with your own athletic experience, how would you recommend implementing coconut water into an athlete's training or recovery routine?
I mean, so important. I mean, Zen is like, everybody worries about training and working out hard, but rest and recovery is number one in sport, especially volleyball, when girls and guys sweat a lot, and they rely on the sugary drinks I've seen on the gyms, on Gatorades or Powerades of the world, and it does nothing for them. And you create cramps, tiredness, physically, mentally. Coconut, once about coconut, your sponsor, your great sponsor, I got to know them. I cannot wait to work with them. I mean, what is the best natural way of, replenishing your energy so you can be ready, not only physically, Zen, but it's also mentally. When these girls or guys get, dehydrated, they are not able to think clearly, to measure the muscles stop moving, or you wake up the next day sore and you can't move, So yes, it's a number one, rest and recovery and hydration is number one thing. So I love the coconut water. I love what you guys are doing. I cannot wait to partner.
These are all great points. And Once Upon a Coconut has a great lineup of flavors from pure to chocolate to blueberry and more. So your 8 glasses of water a day can get a whole lot tastier. Plus, it's one thing to introduce a premium coconut water that tastes better than anything you've ever tried before, but it's truly something else to give back to the communities and people that truly need it. And that's why for every case of Once Upon a Coconut sold, they donate 10% to a charity selected each month. So just as you are giving back to your community by coaching and guiding athletes towards their fullest potential, Once Upon a Coconut is giving back in their own way as well. And with that, we have reached the end of this interview. Thank you so much for coming on, my dear.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
That was our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. And that was the incredible two-time Olympian Donald Suxho. Definitely be sure to check him out on the gram at dsujo7 and head to gsi.institute online to learn more about the Global Sports Institute and what they have to offer. And of course, do head to onceuponacoconut.com to check out the coolest tasting coconut water on the planet. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, zero additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.